So, first of all, let us talk about Complex. Now, at this point, it is no secret that they are one of, the major media platforms that have had an issue with Nicki Minaj, that have constantly pushed narratives that are not in favor of Nicki Minaj. So, of course, when they draft their list and they are left with no option but to include her, that surely tells you the amount of talent that this woman has. Because trust me, if it were up to them, they wouldn't have included her in that list. But they know. They absolutely know that the moment they do not include her in that list, no one is going to take them seriously. And in this life, pray to have a skill, pray to have talent that even your enemies have got no option but to put respect on your name. Because if they don't, then no one will take them seriously. That is the definition of being truly blessed. Now, I did see people praising them for including Nicki Minaj, okay, for not, getting into the H train and all of these things. And I'm like, no, in 2026, we will not be doing that. We will not be applauding people for doing the bare minimum. We will not be applauding people for having some form of integrity. Because that's what you're supposed to have integrity. No one is asking you to lie. If Nicki was not talented, we would be applauding her probably as fans saying, oh, thank you for including her. But she is talented. And they are supposed to give her the respect that she deserves. So, no, no applauding a shark for swimming. We are not doing that in 2026. They did what they were supposed to do. And I do think that for a very long time, the fan base has experienced a lot of trauma in as far as people just lying on Nicki Minaj, people disrespecting her, that even when people do the bare minimum, we tend to applaud them. And that's not fair. It's like we've been conditioned to disrespect to such an extent that even somebody who was disrespecting yesterday, if they wake up today and they say something positive about Nicki Minaj, which would be true, we're like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. That's how much the industry has been traumatic in as far as Nicki and her fans are concerned. But anyway, that being said, I just had to put it out there, okay? In as much as I'm glad that they included her, it's not something that we're going to be like, oh, well, stop, everybody pay attention. It's not happening like that. But anyway, she is sitting at number 7 on the Complex best New York rappers of all time. And, she is the only female actually in the top 10. And that makes her obviously the highest ranked best female rapper of all time in as far as New York is concerned. In my own opinion, not just New York, but, well, for this list, it's particularly that. And so she is sitting at number 7. Sitting at number 1 is Brother Billionaire. Now, I could argue about that placement particularly, but okay. I mean, we're going to let him have that. Sitting at number 2, we have Biggie. Sitting at number 3, we have Nas, we have Rakim. Some of these placements, I'm sorry. I just feel like, with some of the men that they put before Nicki Minaj, she arguably can actually be in front of these men, if I'm going to be honest. I'm going to insert a picture of the top 10 and let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about this. Do you think that she should be sitting at number 7? Or, like me, you think that maybe she even deserves to be in the top 5? On the list, I also saw Lil Kim. Lil Kim was sitting at number 12. And Foxy made the list, but she isn't even in the top 20. Another person that I actually didn't see is John the Baptist, okay? I'm talking about Remy Ma. And for those of you who wonder why I call her that, is because she was used. She was used by Pacific to clear the way for Advovo BBL. She thought she was going to be the next big thing if she went against Nicki Minaj and lied on her name. Oh, she's stopping my bag. She did all of that just to clear the path for the untalented advocate BBL. So that's why I call her that. So I thought really she was going to be making, she was going to be able to make the list, but she couldn't even make that. So, I mean, I would never forget the time when Cheetah came out and people were acting like this is going to be the end of Nicki Minaj. And that's why the Drake situation is very funny to me, because it's playing out exactly the same way that, happened with Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma. And, people thinking, oh, she ended Nicki. Oh, my God. People were celebrating only for Nicki Minaj to remain heading. So, I mean, for someone who risked it all, you would really think that the least that Complex would do and the industry would do would be to give her some flowers. But in fact, they kicked her out of the way. They don't care about her anymore now. If anything, they would rather give space and accolades to Sunshine Benzino. Oh my God, you guys are full bad because she says she's a bab, but you never know with these girls. But you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, there's another video that I actually need to make where we need to talk about the erasure of black women in as far as hip hop is concerned. We'll talk about that in a different video. But anyway, those are the female rappers that made the list. Now let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Lizzie. Now, aside the fact that she's now selling food, she's selling. I think she's now working. She's doing an ad for Chili's. Okay, good for her. At least she's finding a way to get some money now that Pacific is going through some troubles, and now that she might have figured and accepted that the music is not really giving as it used to. I'm not mad at her for getting her bag. If you know anything about me, I was even behind Sowiti when she was doing her collaborations and stuff like that, and I have absolutely nothing against what's this girl's name? Bongo too, for her chicken franchise. If you're getting your money, I'm not here to hate. Okay, so congratulations to Lizzo for that and for fully now accepting what's going on in as far as, of course, her music is concerned. But here is the problem. On one end, it appears that she has finally accepted and she's now open to new business ideas and new forms, new ways of getting money. She does appear like she's taken good lessons from Advocate BBL in as far as looking for money. Okay, because one thing about Advocate BBL is she will sell any and everything. At some point, this girl was selling soup. And I'm not even lying. Before you guys start saying T Plug, you've started, she had some form of campaign with Kno. I'm not even joking. So I see these are the lessons that Lizzo is taking, and I applaud her for that. However, on the other hand, I think she's still being very shady and unnecessarily messy. Because after Lizzo announced her album, she tried to rekindle the Nicki Minaj issue from a month ago or 2 months ago. And that was obviously done as strategically. And when Nicki ignored her, she tried to continue pushing it on Twitter when she would be like, "Oh, I love it when Azalea calls me F Lizzo." When she knew that she was poking Nicki Minaj, it was a response to what Nicki had said to her previously when she came for her political views, unprovoked also. And when Nicki responded, she responded with that, and now she's coming on the internet saying that Azalea calls me this. Nicki ignored her, and guess what she's now doing? She's now reposting her fan, made album covers that are being AI generated from Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2 cover. I mean, she was doing that for, different album covers by different artists. But she also knew very well that by reposting and commenting on it, the Babs would have something to say because she was just being shady towards Nicki Minaj. Not only that, she was signing her vinyls, playing Nicki Minaj's song as well on Twitter. Nicki also paid her dust. So what in the obsession is going on, Lizzo? Like, what is this? Is that what Pacific told you? That they don't have a budget, so your promo or your PR strategy is Nicki Minaj? At this point, I feel like all these artists should be out there paying Nicki Minaj for promo for their album because she is their rollout. And I'm talking about majority of artists, especially black artists. They use her for a rollout, including even big artists like Judas Degrassi, the so-called brother. I'm talking about Drake. Yeah, because that entire Kati Nicki song, blah blah blah, play this, play. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, and that's why I say that at this point, honestly, record labels are not even devising any rollouts of some sort. Nicki is their rollout, and it's unfair. So Lizzo, I hope the album sales are going to justify the BS that you've been doing lately and the passive aggression that you've been targeting towards this woman lately. I hope it's going to reflect in your album sales, because if it doesn't, you know what time it is from the fan base, okay? Still speaking about weird people, let's talk about Kim Petra or Petras. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. But she's one other obsessed person. Your record label, negotiates and lands you a song with Nicki Minaj. She works with you. She supports you when the internet is dragging you. And now all of a sudden you want to jump on a bandwagon and be weird towards the one woman who stood by you when everybody else was out there disrespecting you. And somehow you also come back on the internet crying about the music industry and how your record label is treating you. And we are supposed to stand in solidarity with you and understand you when you are snaky like this. Now, the song that she did with Nicki Minaj hit a milestone. I don't remember what milestone that was. And instead of keeping quiet if she didn't want to celebrate that achievement, instead of not saying anything at all, she decided to, get herself to score some Twitter points. And she said, "Oh, this is supposed to be, I'm supposed to be celebrating, but sadly, I don't feel like that." Like, girl, get the F out of our faces right now. Because all that is going to get you is a couple of Twitter likes for a day, and that's it. You go back to being shelved. Appeasing people on Twitter that do not like certain people will not convert into sales. I don't know how many times people need to know this. When you mention Nicki Minaj in a negative light, trust me, they will come in numbers. Some are real people, some are bots, a lot are Nicki haters. In that moment, you are serving their purpose. In that moment, you are justifying to them why they dislike Nicki Minaj, because you guys are convincing yourself that she's such a horrible person and stuff like that. So they get to be able to justify their ill feelings towards someone, and deny the fact that the reason why they don't like her is because she awakens insecurities that reside within them. So in that moment, they love you, but that's all that is. It never extends out of Twitter. It never leaves Twitter. It resides on Twitter. And Kim, I hope all the nonsense that you're doing and the fake denseness that you're showing, because these guys know exactly what Nicki Minaj said in that interview. They know exactly that he was responding to Gavin Newsom and what he said about wanting to see kids transitioning. They know that very well. But for some reason, they choose to be intentionally dense. It's almost like these people have their record labels negotiate with Nicki Minaj, for Nicki Minaj to give them a hit, but deep down they hate her. Or is it the fact that once they collaborate with Nicki Minaj, they see a level of success in that song that none of their songs are able to replicate? Maybe that's the reason why, a lot of times she works with people and those people turn around and disrespect her like this. It's probably the realization that actually, even though I don't like this girl, she's very big. I did the song with her and it did these numbers. I did these songs by myself or I looked for other collaborations. I couldn't replicate the numbers. And then the hate is even awakened more. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about Kim Petras. Do you think that it's going to be beneficial for her? The next thing that we're going to talk about, Jetavia, she has announced the name of her album, and her album is going to be titled Club Cheetah. Okay, so I don't know if the song that she released recently is supposed to be the lead single or if we are to wait for the lead single. Speaking about City Girls, it appears Young Miami's song Spin That is actually doing great. You guys are loving the song, huh? Are you gonna take it to Billboard? Are you gonna push it until it reaches Billboard, or is it just going to be bubbling under? Speaking of songs that are bubbling under, whose song did I see bubbling under when people were thinking that that song was going to make it to the actual Billboard Hot 100? Let me quickly scroll through my screenshots. I remember there's a song I saw and I actually wanted to talk about. I just checked. It is the same song. It's Young Miami Spend That. Okay, that's the song that I saw. Where people were now confused because some people didn't see that it was the bubbling under chart. They thought it's the Billboard Hot 100, and they were thinking that it had made it to number one, which is very, very delusional. I don't know who would believe that something like that could happen. Now, lastly, let's talk about Funky. Okay, so Funky has some advice for Trim, and I have to admit that he was making quite some solid points on there. And I'm glad that people are beginning to realize and to accept reality, and that we are able to get to a point where, in as much as we don't like certain people, we are not still delusional to discredit all that they have done or to think that we can erase their impact and that we can take their talent away from them. It's not possible, okay? Even if you don't like someone, you still have to give them their accolades. It's just like me. Even though I do not like or I don't really care for some of Advovo BBL's shenanigans, even though I think that she's not talented in as far as female rap is concerned or rap is concerned or lyricism or anything that matters is concerned. I do think that, okay? I do not like how she's out there being pushed as a representation of black women. I don't appreciate that. But still, it would be delusional of me to take away from what she has done. It would be really ridiculous for me. It would discredit everything that I ever stand for if I were to come on this channel and start saying, oh, just because I personally don't like Advovo BBL, I'm gonna erase the fact that she has done things that a lot of other people are not able to do, things like transforming through 11 faces, things that other people are not even brave to do, things like taking your enemy's photo to the doctor. That's bravery. And it would be delusional of me to come on here and say just because I don't like her, I will not give her respect when it comes to that. You see? Just like in as much as I do not like Bongo 2 and her entire thing of personalizing black women grace and thinking that sympathy belongs to her and only her, thinking that she's the only one deserving of protection as a black woman. I don't like that about her. But that being said, I think oftentimes on this channel, I always tell to you that I always say it, that no matter how many people she lies around with, she's one smart woman. She's very stingy with her womb. And I've always respected her for that. You know? She can date through and sleep with her friend's man, but one thing about her is not a head of a human being came out of all those situations. Because not every situationship deserves evidence in human form. And I give her flowers for that. The same way I give her flowers for her sympathy wig. Is it a sympathy wig? Yes. Does it look flattering on her? Absolutely. I don't think a lot of people can, rock the sympathy wigs as much as she does, as good as she does. See how I'm giving accolades. So all I'm saying is I'm glad that the likes of Funky Geneva are now finally giving people the flowers that they deserve, because after all has been said and done, talent is talent. Influence is influence, whether you like it or not. Before I insert what Funky had to say to this trim girl, guys, are you following what's going on with the Jackie Aina and Patrick Tar situation? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section if you are tuned into the makeup drama and everything that's going on, and the Painted by Esther thing and the Juvia's Place thing back in the day. Now, during the Juvia's Place era, like, I was just minding my contouring business. That's all I was learning from YouTube. Okay, I was not really paying attention into what was going on in as far as the political side of makeup is concerned. But all I knew was that Juvia's Place allegedly excluded black women, and I was running behind Jackie. So to be honest, I was surprised to see his stance. But anyway, let me insert what Funky had to say, and then I'm not going to be coming back after that. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. Hopefully, I will be able to edit this today, because it's one of those days where, you just don't have so much energy. Like, you're just there, hanging in there, just waiting for Christmas. And we're in what? We're in May, and I'm talking about Christmas holidays. Until my next one, see you.
Part of the problem with y'all young hoes is you don't know how to pay homage. You don't know what deference is. You don't know how to be humble. Y'all come in and y'all start dissing, not even realizing that the people you telling to sit down are the people who blaze the trail for your ass to even be able to get up here with that Skittles ass rap talking about coconut water. So I'm getting activated now because you activating my auntie gene. Trim, based on coconut water, you ain't even gonna be around that long. Like, honestly and truthfully, Trim, coconut water, I'm sure is gonna trend on TikTok. But baby girl, you might not even make it to August, because the people is already fed up with Sexy Red and Sookie and Lotto and Cardi and all these other people. Like, female rap has already become oversaturated very quickly. And there are like 11 TikTok rappers, like I call them TikTok rappers. Y'all were lucky enough to make something real trendy and real fun, but baby, you don't even have what it takes to become an old head. You don't even have what it takes to become a legacy act. Matter of fact, now it's making sense. That's why you want all the legacy acts to sit down somewhere. You want them to just eradicate themselves as competition so you can just exist with your coconut water. Bitch, we grown. We drinking Hennessy on ice. We don't even want no damn coconut water. Matter of fact, stop talking to us. Stop talking to the old heads. Now that I think about it, it ain't even the old heads that's keeping y'all from making it, because the people that like the music that the old heads sing, they not talking about into y'all shit no way. Trim, know your place, earn your spot. That's the best advice I can give you, daughter. Know your place and earn your spot. All this, you literally just got on our radars last week, and you pulling a Clarissa Shields. You're beginning to be more known for the reckless shit that's coming out your mouth than your music. It's not too late for you to course correct, because your brand is so new that we don't even know what your brand is at this point. So it still gives you time to course correct. That's not a dig or a read. That's an opportunity for advancement. Your brand is so new that we don't even know what your brand is at this point. You get to craft your brand in our face real time. You and your team need to course correct right now before it gets cemented in our minds that you are the problematic new little young girl who always talking shit and rap like Skittles. Now, you can do whatever you want to do with the advice. You can clap back, you get in your bag, you get in your attitude, or you can humble yourself and listen to what somebody grown trying to tell your daughter. I ain't telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. Part of the problem with y'all young hoes is you don't